Corruption certainly comes in all forms. We've seen shades of alleged corruption with what former President Trump's own lawyers accuse him of doing to try to hold on to power in 2020 and the threats to democracy nationwide. And while those extreme moments of subversion have taken the majority of the attention, there are also smaller daily doses of corruption that could dismantle our political institutions in the long run. That includes on Capitol Hill, where members of Congress have long faced accusations of trading on closed-door information. In tonight's Prime Focus, ABC's Jay O'Brien introduces us to a new generation of online detectives tracking and exposing those lawmakers' trades for the world to see and pushing for change.
Sunny Santa Monica, California, seemingly a world away from Washington, D.C., is where we found Chris Josephs and his different morning routine. Every day, Chris wakes up, makes a cup of coffee, and then alongside fellow internet sleuths, sifts through the stock trades members of Congress make.
It all started off as infuriating, because you're like, what the f***? Like, how are they allowed to do it when other Americans can't?
As long as a trade is reported before 45 days, there's no law preventing members of the House or Senate from trading stocks, even if the bills they pass or committees they sit on could influence a company's stock price. Outraged at first, Chris then saw an opportunity to get in on the action. He moved out west and with 3 friends launched the app Autopilot. It lets users follow a politician's trades and then copy them, automatically buying or selling the same stock a lawmaker does at whatever dollar amount they like.
That's where the money is?
Yeah. The reason why we initially set out with the politicians was because they were killing it.
They were killing it?
They were killing it, yeah. They were making a lot of the money.
You're trying to get in on the money?
I'm trying to get in on the money, yep.
At what point does this become illegal?
The company now has users dedicating tens of millions trying to grow their own bank accounts by mimicking lawmakers' market moves. But the app has also become a rallying cry for a new generation of investors, pointing out what they say is a rigged system that lets a group of 535 men and women with serious political influence buy and sell stocks in the first place. Legally, lawmakers can't trade on inside information, meaning details out of the hands of the general public. But a hypothetical senator could vote for an infrastructure bill and then buy stock in a company that was publicly awarded a project to build a bridge in their district. They could even sit on the Armed Services Committee and trade in the stock of a defense contractor receiving a sizable government contract. Potential conflicts of interest that in the past few years, thousands online began relishing pointing out were all legal.
This is a red flag.
And the biggest name doing that isn't a name at all, or even a face.
What should we call you? What do you go by?
You're welcome to call me Wales, Mr. Wales.
A finance guy who started poring over members of Congress's trades when he was bored during the early months of the pandemic, he goes by the full moniker Unusual Wales and asks that we not use his real name or show his face, fearful of blowback from the politicians whose trades he dissects and now publishes on his website and on popular social media accounts.
Track Congress members' trades at unusualwhales.com.
A whale being another term for a big investor. Unusual because of the strange success of the traders he tracks. Wales's data finds members of Congress's stock portfolios consistently beat the S&P 500.
One thing people always say is that members are very good at picking stocks. That's often assumed, but to be quite frank, is that members are also quite good at avoiding losses.
One example Wales pointed us to was the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and the regional banking crisis. Then, some lawmakers on key congressional committees that govern the financial system dumped SVB and other bank stocks during the turmoil, many before their price plummeted. Not illegal, Wales says, but eyebrow-raising.
I would say there's not as much transparency as one would believe, especially given that many of these members sit on committees that have direct oversight over many of these companies.
And those new calls for transparency have spurred some in Congress to try again to ban their colleagues from trading stocks altogether. a political movement that's made for some unusual alliances, like a bill co-sponsored by far-right firebrand Matt Gaetz and progressive Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
We have access to sensitive information, and to think that a person could then purchase individual stock and make bets and trades and personally benefit from that is, I think, in direct conflict with the public service, the spirit of public service that we're here to do.
And then there's the duo from Colorado, Republican Ken Buck and Democrat Joe Neguse, who signed a letter with 19 other Republicans and Democrats pushing congressional leaders to do something about stock trading.
Why ban members of Congress from trading stocks?
Because it appears to be unethical, and it is wrong fundamentally, and the American people know it's wrong.
The American people expect members of Congress to be serving the American people and the American public and not their stock portfolios.
Several lawmakers we spoke with who declined to go on camera said their trades are handled by financial advisors and made often without their knowledge. And others said that trading stocks shouldn't be banned because doing so would cut off a financial source that some politicians use to make ends meet.
What do you say to those of your colleagues?
Stop whining. You know, we signed up for this job. We knew what the pay was. It isn't a, we're going to pay you this much plus corruption.
Corruption is what Congress first tried to tackle 10 years ago, passing the Stock Act. That was the law that officially banned members of Congress from trading with non-public information. But there are still accusations some members of Congress do exactly that.
Have you both become aware of colleagues of yours that are bending the rules with their trades?
Look, I'm going to keep this bipartisan. I am not going to go into some names. We both know the names of some people that have made millions of dollars off of trading, spouses trading stocks while committee hearings are going on.
One prominent lawmaker whose finances are consistently under a microscope is former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, who's disclosed millions of dollars of profit from trades over the years, many made by her husband, a financier.
Now let's take a look at where this really all began, the famous Pelosi tracker.
And a popular social media account called the Pelosi Stock Tracker now posts to hundreds of thousands of followers the trades the former speaker discloses. Behind the scenes, it's run by Chris Josephs in an attempt to market his app Autopilot. It all started 2 years ago when Chris and his friends put $20,000 in a portfolio designed to match every trade Pelosi disclosed.
How'd that portfolio do?
Pretty well.
Now, Chris says Autopilot has $10 million of user money dedicated to just following the trades the former speaker reports.
It seems like proving it is the hardest thing, proving whether they're trading off of public or non-public information.
Yes, but does it matter? Like, that's the big question. Does it matter? Should they be doing it? They shouldn't be trading in the first place.
In a statement, Pelosi's office told us she does not own any stocks herself and has no prior knowledge or subsequent involvement in any transactions made by her husband. A spokesperson added she was fully supportive of an attempt by Congress in 2022 to address members' stock trading, efforts which, despite public pressure, failed. Fast forward to 2023, and a slate of similar bills are seeing the same resistance.
It has taken longer than we certainly would have liked, but we're going to continue to push forward. More and more members have joined in this effort than perhaps ever before.
There are 4 or 5 bills out there with really good ideas in each one of them. They've got to be brought together.
There are 4 or 5 bills out there, but none of them are going anywhere right now. They're all stuck in various committees.
All right, welcome to Congress.
But far away from Capitol Hill, if you listen to Unusual Whales or Chris Josephs, no one is quite sure your elected representatives will voluntarily cut themselves off from a payday.
I don't think they'll ban it. I think it's all a smokescreen. I genuinely don't think they'll do it because it doesn't benefit them.
You're saying there's too much money on the table to give it up?
I think so, which is wild to say, but yeah.
Certainly eye-opening. Our thanks to Jay O'Brien for that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.